WGN.
Attention. Attention, please. Have your pencil and scorecards ready, and I'll give you the correct lineup for today's ball game.
Now tip. Where she goes? Back! Hey! Hickman did it again! There it is! Mr. Banks has just hit his 500th career homer! He is getting a standing ovation!
2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, bases loaded in the ninth. Cubs leading 5-4. Don't you wish you were here?
Fly ball. Cubs are going to be the division kings. Edmonds will make the catch. Yes! 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 There's a drive. Deep left center. Cubs win. They win it. Can you believe it?
It's an amazing phenomenon to see and walk into Wrigley Field. And with the young players today, I don't say this to them, but I know that you're playing in a very, very difficult place to play. It's so unique. It's not difficult, it's just unique.
My first Major League Baseball game, Wrigley Field, I was going into my senior year of high school. Grew up in Nebraska, but I was out here on a trip, and I just remember walking in thinking, this is it. This is like as good as it gets.
For me, it was a natural. Not only 87, but the 6 years that I was there. It was like second home for me.
And I get here at Wrigley Field. I've seen it on TV, but I've never been here. And I get in the locker room, I get dressed, and I'm walking out, and Ernie's walking with me. And we're walking down, and I'm looking, and it's empty. You know, I swear I thought I was walking on air. There was this feeling that I've never had before, and the electricity, the atmosphere, and nobody in the stands. And that's how I felt.
It's perfect symmetry between nature and the fans and the ivy and the history. And when you walk in and put that uniform on for the first time and become a part of all this, it's overwhelming.
I do remember coming out of that dugout on the first base side for the first time, and you know, seeing this ballpark and the coziness and how it felt like you were in a little bubble of baseball. And from the very first moment I stepped on this field, it's always been my favorite.
When it gets in your blood like that, it gets in your system and everything. This ballpark, you know, this team, those uniforms, everything. It's just part of Chicago for me, and part of my childhood and my life, and it's always just so special to come here.
Larry Ritter, my old friend who wrote The Glory of Their Times, liked to say the best part of baseball today is its yesterdays, and that's on sale every day at Wrigley Field.
I think every baseball, to a degree, is a place where you can experience wholesome escapism. And I think Wrigley Field just takes that to a different level.
Wrigley Field is, as I always looked at it, was part of the fabric of the city of Chicago.
Bill Murray just introduced, and I guess he's going to run the bases first.
I don't think I'll have my ashes spread here, but it doesn't get old. It's beautiful. You know, it's one of the sort of touchstones of my childhood. I haven't given it up.
My wife says when I'm walking to Wrigley Field, it's like there's a rope attached to the top of my head and somebody's reeling me in. That I tilt forward, I walk a little faster. My anticipation every time I walk in here is I love this game and I love this team, and beyond everything else, I love this field.
And the first time you see the field, it's like no other feeling in baseball. I've been to a lot of stadiums. I never felt that again the rest of my life.
Ron Santo pizza. I mean, that's what it was about for me. My father would take his 4 sons to the ballpark. We'd drive up from Peoria, and I'd get about 3 or 4 pieces of Ron Santo pizza every time.
The day you walk on this field,
you know you're a big leaguer. It's Wrigley Field. It's been around forever. It's got so much history. There's so much there. But the day you walk out and you're in uniform, you say, man, I'm a big leaguer.
This September on Chicago's very own, prime time means it's a prime time to laugh.
Where do you think you're going to meet this beauty queen? Are we in agreement on this?
Yes, we are. A prime time to cheer.
Game over! Cubs win!
I'm a winner. I want to win.
It's a prime time to remember.
It's like a wonder of the world.
This September, it's prime time to watch. Chicago's very own WGN.
Make all the right moves in your favorite athletic brands. Get to JCPenney and save on select Nike athletic shoes and apparel and get 50% off Exertion activewear. Now through Labor Day, JCPenney Rewards members get a $10 bonus reward when you spend $50 or more in activewear. Work out, chill out. That's getting your pennies worth. Payday presents Salty Covered Sweetness.
I was clearly here first, buddy. You know what's clear? Our budding friendship. Let's go be best friends right now. Now and forever. Forever and always.
Salty on the outside, sweet on the inside.
Payday.
Bites!
Chicago, hope you're sitting down because we have some big news. Switch to high-speed internet from AT&T today and get an everyday price with no extra monthly fees.
Call now and get our best deal ever. Our 45 meg internet plan for only $30 per month with a qualifying AT&T service.
Now you can download your favorite TV show in about a minute and stream shows or movies on as many as 8 devices at one time. All on a connection you can count on with over 99% reliability.
Call now and get our best deal ever. Our 45 meg internet plan for only $30 per month with a qualifying AT&T service.
That's right, Chicago. This isn't an introductory rate. It's an everyday price. And your monthly internet equipment fee is included. Because with AT&T, you only have to pay one price, the one you sign up for. Don't wait. Call an AT&T expert and switch today.
One call makes it simple. As a family-owned business, ABC Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electric understands your time is important and wants you to have more time to relax. So when it's time to schedule your visit, we'll make it easy. You'll see why Chicagoland has placed their trust in our qualified and friendly technicians for over 65 years and why we think of ourselves as different. Call 888-252-9955 or visit 4abc.com today because it's as easy as ABC.
It's a beautiful day for a ball game today.
We begin at the beginning in 1914, where Zachary T. Davis, the same man who designed Comiskey Park on the south side, laid out plans for a north side new field, and no, it wasn't built for the Chicago Cubs.
Most people don't know that there was a rival major league that sprouted up in 1914 to challenge the National and American leagues, and this was the Federal League. And one of the 8 franchises, the original franchises, was known as the Chi-Feds, later known as the Chicago Whales. And the park that was built for them in 1914 with a seating capacity of 14,000 is today's Wrigley Field.
Well, Charlie Wiegman, he wanted a full regulation-sized Major League ballpark for his team. The Cubs were on the west side at the West Side grounds. The White Sox were on the south side of Comiskey Park. So Wiegman came north to here at Clark and Addison. The ballpark was built in about an 8-week period. There was some property on the ballpark that had to tear that down. There also was a labor strike, so actual construction time was about 5 weeks. Groundbreaking was done the first week of March, and by late April, the Chicago Federals, as they were called, played their first game.
The team became the Whales and won the 1915 Federal League pennant, but the new league folded after the season, and a deal was made for Wegman to take over the Cubs. In April 1916, he brought the team to his Northside Park. Charlie was the first owner to have concession stands to let fans keep foul ball, and his ladies' days were a tradition for decades to come. But his restaurant business was failing. He did get to see the Cubs win the 1918 pennant before silent partner William Wrigley took over the club. Wrigley hired sports writer Bill Veeck Sr. to be the Cubs president a year later. After several years of missteps, they had a contending team just in time for Cubs Park to be renamed Wrigley Field and get a new upper deck in 1927. This allowed the Cubs to be the first National League team to draw more than 1 million fans all on hand to see a legendary group of sluggers.
The Cubs of the 20s and 30s, they were it. I mean, they were the tops. From 1929 to 1938, the Cubs won a pennant every 3 years. The Cubs lineup was a Hall of Fame of players. Gabby Hartnett, Rogers Hornsby, Billy Herman, Hack Wilson, Kai Kyler, Riggs Stevenson. The Cubs were a murderer's row of the National League.
The Cubs had quite a beautiful ball club back in 29, 30, 31. We used to have our meetings and say, well, let's get our 8 runs early today, and we usually do it.
The Cubs won pennants in 1929, 32, 35, and 38, but even a new marquee wasn't enough to get them past the American League and the World Series. After William Wrigley's death, son P.K. Wrigley took over the team, and in 1937, he decided to give the ballpark its most permanent facelift with a new scoreboard in center field, a brick outfield wall, and ivy. He entrusted the project to young Bill Veeck Jr.
You want to go in a ballpark, it should smell like freshly cut grass. It should feel like you're away from somewhere. And Wrigley Field does that better than any ballpark in the country. And if I sound prejudiced, I am. I built most of it.
P.K. Wrigley, who inherited the team after his father passed away, he hated those bleachers. He wanted them elevated for a better sightline. He also wanted them made of brick. So in July of 1937, they came in, tore out the old bleachers, they put up a temporary wall, and they built these bleachers in season. That's also when the scoreboard was built. That's also when the ivy was first planted, starting in July of 1937.
The ivy took root and quickly became the ballpark's most recognizable element, and it's still there today, thanks to the care of the Wrigley Field grounds crew.
There's a lot of maintenance involved in this ivy, fertilization program. The trimming is probably the hardest thing out of the whole thing. A lot of people don't realize the man hours that's put in trimming this ivy. It takes usually 1 to 2 days per week. Man constantly working on the ivy, and every day he's always at least spending a little time doing some extra trimming around numbers and doors. After a ball game, if I'm taking maybe the flags down, everybody say, can I have a leave? Can I have a leave? I guess through my years here, if I gave everybody who asked me, I don't think we'd have any left on the wall. I eat and sleep Wrigley Field. A lot of pressure trying to keep it as beautiful as possible because it's such a unique ballpark. I mean, it's one of a kind. There's never going to be a duplicate of this place.
For the new scoreboard, 20-year-old Kurt Huberts and his father devised an ingenious electronic relay system that operator Rick Fuse uses to this day.
You touch the button, and it instantaneously sends the signal out to the scoreboard and puts it flips the target. It's a 9-inning, every pitch, hopefully 8.5 sometime, every pitch I have to watch, have to be very aware of what's going on the field. I'm always watching the umpire. It is fun. I started to operate the scoreboard in 1989. I've done it over like 25 years here. And sometimes I pinch myself, and I never take the job for granted.
Another ballpark tradition was born in 1941 when the Cubs became the first team to use an organ at the ballpark. These days, the soundtrack to a day at Wrigley Field comes off the nimble fingers of Gary Pressey.
The organ is so integral part of baseball and so important to Wrigley Field. I mean, you walk up the ramp, and if I'm playing the organ, I hear the organ, it's like a cathedral. And it's an awesome situation to be involved, and there's no better place to be an organist for 27, 28 years like I have at Wrigley Field. It's a dream come true.
1945 marked the Cubs' last appearance in the Fall Classic. With many players off to war, the Cubs and Tigers hooked up in a 7-game World Series, led by a young outfielder who started a lifelong love affair with his home ballpark.
There's no place like Wrigley Field. Win, lose, or draw, the environment, the atmosphere is still there.
The Tigers got the Northsiders' goat to win the series, and the Cubs quickly fell into the National League cellar for the next 2 decades before coming to life again in 1969. A A September swoon doomed DeRocher's Cubs, and it'd be 15 years before postseason baseball would return to Wrigley. When it did in 1984, it was back with a boom as the Cubs took the first 2 games over San Diego.
There's a drive! Might be! It could be! It is! A home run! Look at the SAR dancing around the bases!
Needing 1 win to reach the series, the Cubs returned from California empty-handed. So the rest of the 80s was a countdown to the last seismic change at the friendly confines, a move away from day-only baseball.
I lived in the neighborhood. I had a sign, no lights in Wrigley Field. Now I want to tell you what kind of committed guy I am. As soon as they put lights in Wrigley Field, I said, hey, I think I can get season tickets now.
Early in the season, the Cubs announced the first game played under the lights would be 8/8/88. An easy day to remember and a night no one would forget.
1, a 2, a 3, let there be.
It was by far the biggest event that I've ever been involved in. I pitched a lot of opening days. There was always going to be another opening day. We did not think there was ever going to be another opening night.
There's the drive. Way back. It's gone. It's out of here. Turn them off. Turn the dang lights off.
I thought it was a happening event and a happening night, as if everybody, like all baseball fans, would have wanted to be there.
You know, the first night game was pretty special. You know, that was, I know it got rained out, we slid on the tarp and all that, but just seeing Wrigley at night was, for the first time, was pretty special. You know, you spent a couple years there and never had to worry about a night game, and then to finally get one was a pretty special day.
It was torrential. I mean, I remember the first time I dove on a tarp into second base. I went underwater. That's how much water was actually on the tarp.
15 years later, the Cubs' best chance at another World Series slipped away on consecutive nights. Wrigley Field got a new owner in 2009 when the Ricketts family took over the Cubs franchise with the stated goal of making the friendly confines a family destination for decades to come.
Baseball's different. Baseball is about family. My family is responsible for the park, but because I met my wife here, the park's also responsible for my family.
Things really move fast at a Hyundai sales event.
This is amazing.
So what do you think?
I'm going back in.
Oh, excuse me.
Act fast today and make no monthly payments until 2017.
Your feet mirror your general health. And if left untreated, foot ailments can result in pain when standing and walking. Dr. Ahn at United Foot and Ankle Surgeons uses advanced procedures to treat various foot and ankle problems, including toenail fungus and heel pain. Dr. Ahn also specializes in minimally invasive procedures to correct bunions, flat feet, and misaligned feet. If you're concerned about the health of your feet, visit United Foot and Ankle Surgeons for a consultation and take a step to a healthier you.
I forgot my charger. Good thing I remembered the car.
The Cadillac XT5, tailored to you, offering wireless charging and OnStar 4G LTE and built-in Wi-Fi hotspot. Get this low-mileage lease on this Cadillac XT5 from around $439 per month. Visit your local Cadillac dealer today.
It's the Lazy Boy Labor Day sale. We're finding great prices on great-looking furniture is no work at all. Save 30% store-wide Friday through Monday only. Plus, get no interest until January 2020. Lazy Boy Furniture Galleries. Live life comfortably.
The average age of a homeless person is 9 years old. My dream is to help kids living on the streets with education.
Charles, what's up, buddy?
Mind we help? Oh, man.
Is that a basketball player?
Yes. Wow. How you doing?
Kevin Durant.
My heart about to jump off my chest, man.
Charles, you ought to be proud, man.
I'm just extremely grateful that they were here, giving them some encouragement. That's something that these kids are going to remember for a lifetime.
Don't you see his big old feet?
Oh.
Monday, say goodbye to summer and hello to fall baseball. The Cubs are headed to Milwaukee for a little home run derby. Cubs, Brewers, Monday at noon on WGN.
This is it. The Hyundai Act Fast sales event. It's go time.
Act fast today and lease the Tucson for $139 a month or the Santa Fe Sport for $159 a month.
Hey, hey, holy mackerel, no doubt about it, the Cubs are on their way.
I think there are a couple of things that make Wrigley Field special, to me anyway. One of them is day baseball. You still have a preponderance of day games here, and when you have a perfect summer day with a blue sky and the green grass, the vines in bloom, it is picture postcard perfect.
It's an adjustment, and it takes a certain type of player, a certain type of guy. If you don't make the adjustments, it's going to eat you up.
My kind of town, Chicago is. The Wrigley Field in Chicago is. My kind of town that won't let you down. It's my kind of town.
You know, Ernie used to say it's nothing like God's lights, and so I think there's a lot of truth in that. Baseball's a great game, and playing it here in the daytime is probably the best. But I will say that I do think that playing every day ball, when other teams were playing at least 2 or 3 or 4 nights a week, I think by the end of the year on a particularly hot summer, you felt it a little bit more.
The sunshine days of Wrigley's most iconic team started in 1966 with the hiring of Leo DeRocher. The first seeds of the Wrigley Summer of Love were sown in 1967 when the surging Cubs tasted first place for the first time in decades.
I beat Cincinnati, and the Cardinals beat the Mets, or vice versa, Mets beat the Cardinals. And there was like 40,000 people stayed in the stadium until they raised our flag, the W.
And it's been a long time since the Cubs had been in first place, you know. And, we had 2 hours trying to get out of the ballpark to go home. You know, it was a great feeling.
They put us in first place for the first time in I don't know how many years. And the fans just went ecstatic.
I just remember my favorite players, and it was that 60s team, that late 60s team with Williams and Jenkins and, you know, Ernie Banks and Glenn Beckert and that team. I mean, that's when I actually saw the Cubs on television before I saw them here. My parents have a picture of me sitting as a 5-year-old in front of a black and white television with the Cubs on.
I knew that 60s lineup, you know, the Kessinger, Beckert, Williams, Santo, Ernie Banks.
The wild ride that was 1969 started from opening day when the Cubs were trailing the Phillies in the 11th.
Hit, deep to right, back, it's all over. Willie Smith just homered. The Cubs win the game. Look at the reception at home plate for Willie Smith.
From the first game at Wrigley, the Willie Smith home run, the pinch home run, and Jack Brickhouse's call to me helped to make that, you know, as an iconic moment that it is. That just hooked you.
When Selma started getting the fans going in '69 with the towel situation, and the fans would cheer and get going, I think that was really something that motivated the bleacher bums, as you call it, and guys started wearing yellow helmets, and they would cheer the left field against the right field, and it was really something to see.
'69 was a season where they ended up putting that thing around the bleachers out there to keep people from jumping off. Well, at that time we played a lot of double headers. And if you have, let's say, 18 innings of beer, you're a little loose out there in those bleachers.
My dad died in '67. My mom went back to work in like '69, and my sister that summer took me almost to every home game. We went to the beach or the Cubs game, and we had the best tans of our life that year.
The Cubs held first place from day one. In late June, a Jim Hickman home run kept them there and started a brand new post-game celebration.
Hickman did it again. Oh, brother.
And I ran down the left field line. I don't even remember doing this, how excited I was. And I went up in the air and clicked my heels.
You're ahead, kid.
We were meeting the ball club at O'Hare. You used to be able to meet them coming off the plane. And, you know,
$5, you take the L down and get 2 bleacher seats. And if we could, scrape together 50 more cents, we get around Sano Pizza. It was fantastic.
69 was incredible. The only time I was certain that they were going to win. There's no other way.
There's a well-hit ball. Look out. That's gone.
On September 7, Willie Stargell's 9th inning home run keyed a tailspin that saw the Northsiders lose 11 of 12. The Mets roared past, and the 69 Cubs were left to wonder what might have been. Yet even in defeat, the 69 team is probably the most beloved in Wrigley Field history.
And it is, to me, still, from everyone I talked to, the most beloved team in Cub history, even though they didn't win it.
We're so sorry we couldn't bring it home for these great fans, but it was a wonderful year.
The ball game is over! The Cubs win it! Oh, what a finish!
This week on WGN Morning News, we question Governor Bruce Rauner.
Do you like Mike Madigan?
And Police Superintendent Eddie Johnson.
I think we're making some headway.
Team talked one-on-one with Clint Eastwood, and comedian John Lovett stopped by.
Hello?
Next week, hot celebrity homes for sale. We're celebrating the 50th anniversary of Star Trek. We sit down with actors Aaron Eckhart and Laura Linney. And we talk with a real Captain Sullenberger about the movie Sully. Next week on WGN Morning News, Chicago's must-watch morning news.
Value City Furniture presents how to know when it's time. First, look for a sign that it's time to buy new furniture. Any sign? At all. Then, follow the signs to the Labor Day sale at Value City Furniture. Hurry in for free delivery, plus 48 months, no interest financing when you spend $19.99 and up. Perfect. And that's how to buy the perfect piece at Value City Furniture.
Who's breaking in Arizona jeans this back to school? You. Head to JCPenney for Arizona jeans. $15.99 for kids, $17.99 for juniors, $19.99 for guys. Get $10 off when you spend $25 or more with coupon. Starts Wednesday. Hurry in and make this back to school yours. That's getting your pennies worth.
White Sox Twins, Sunday at 12:30 on WGN.
The summer wind came blowing in from across the sea.
Every start, you wake up. Right when you wake up, you look outside your window to see which way the wind's blowing. One of the first things you needed to know.
One of the first things I did every game, you come in to the entrance there off of whatever the street is there, and before I would walk up the steps of the clubhouse, I'd walk up the runway to check out the flag. It's a completely different game.
But don't go away, folks. A lot more of those are going to be hit today the way that wind is blowing.
When that alarm clock went off, I want to know right now if it's blowing in or out. That set my whole mood for the day.
Yep, it's going to stay in, and he has it. Woo, the wind did the Cubs a favor that time.
The misnomer, I think, is that it's always an offensive park. And in fact, the wind blows in probably 2 out of every 3 days at Wrigley Field.
I think the fact that Wrigley Field, like no other park, plays to the elements so much.
When I first got here, I was afraid to get the ball airborne, and I would always pitch away. But when you play here for a number of years, you realize that Wrigley Field, with the wind blowing out, guys will change their swing because they want to get it airborne. And you have to learn how to pitch inside here. Absolutely paramount.
Strike 3. Boy, is that fast slider working today.
I try to tell myself this is a pitcher's park, which is I try to make every attitude that a pitcher should have. Forget about the wind, that you can't do anything about the elements, and just go out there and perform.
I actually love the wind. I thought it was great that, one day it might be 14-12, and the next day it's going to be 2-1. That was the beauty of playing there every day. Every day was different.
Hit one up on that Buick sign out there. Got the wind behind you.
There would be days when I knew it was blowing out, I'd get a speeding ticket trying to get here to play. And then you could see it when it was cold and blowing in. You were going, oh, man, this is going to be a really hard day to hit.
Philippe Ballou keeps going back. Highest off the line. The wind got it. Sando's racing for third. He's going to make it easily. A triple to center field by Sando.
There's been stories where pitchers developed mysterious neck injuries when they saw the flags blowing out, and if the flags were blowing in, they couldn't wait to get their uniforms on and get out there and start warming up.
You get on the team bus, and there was no mercy to be had. If it was a hot day and the wind was, you could tell downtown if the wind was going to be blowing out the ballpark, guys would be, uh-oh, good day to come down with a sore elbow. You don't want to go out there today.
Trying to figure out the win can make life miserable for outfielders. And being introduced to the ivy-covered wall, well, that's no day at the park either.
It is a tough place. You have to go out. You have to get your work in pregame. I learned how to play the sun. I've learned how to play the wind. And if you don't, then, it can create havoc.
Outfielders have told me they don't think that anyone will win a Gold Glove here anymore because you're not going to see guys jumping into that brick wall like you see other places. You see players doing high leaps and jumping all over the place.
And a lot of people said, think because there are vines out there, there's a little cushion. But there's some big vines out there, and I've caught one of those things, you're going back at a fly ball, and all of a sudden, boom, you hit your head on one of those. It really swings for a while.
The friendly confines, maybe not that friendly if you're a center fielder, maybe not that friendly for an outfielder, because underneath the ivy, you get a very good idea when the season opens and you arrive here, and it's in April, and the ivy's not grown in. And then you get the true flavor of the fact that underneath the ivy is red brick, and the brick does not give.
You have to prepare the sun, the wind, if the wind blowing out, if the wind blowing in, the right field wall, those ivy, how far you up, you play from the ivy, and then it's too many things.
And he stumbles on the mound out there.
He never dropped one of those in his life.
He just did.
He did! Holy cow!
The power hitters always loved the ballpark, beginning with a New York high schooler named Lou Gehrig, who hit a home run onto Sheffield in a 1920 All-Star game.
You're just made even more aware of how small and friendly the confines are here when it comes to foul territory, and why you can see that it's an awfully tough place to pitch for much of the season.
No one was ever tougher to pitch to than the diminutive slugger Hack Wilson, whose 1930 season still lives in the record books. In baseball's best year for offense, the Cubs outfielders spent the summer pounding baseballs off and over the walls of Wrigley.
This was the year for Hack Wilson in particular. Hack Wilson hit his 56 homers, and many, many years after his death, he accumulated one more RBI. So he went from the 190 that us old geezers grew up with to his current 191, a record. Hack Wilson drank himself out of baseball. He was a man of mercurial temperament, of bad habits, and certainly one of the most peculiar-looking home run sluggers you would ever see. He was 5'6", he was about 190 pounds, and he had a 5.5-foot shoe size.
For the next 2 decades, the Cubs were led by star third baseman Stan Hack and hometown hero Phil Cavarretta. The 50s saw Hank Sauer become the mayor of Wrigley Field and win the National League MVP in 1952. The following year, the team's greatest slugger joined the Cubs.
That's a well-hit ball deep to left. Back.
When the swinging 70s arrived, no one took bigger swings at Wrigley than Dave Kingman. King Kong's blast began to put the neighborhood in peril.
I think that thing broke a window across the street. Very high fly. That's gone. That is way, way gone. Gone. Woohoo! Dave Kingman.
The Cubs decided it was better to have Kingman in their dugout and signed him as a free agent in 1978.
I go up there, take a big cut at the ball, and I'm going to miss a few times, and a few times I'm connect. And there are game situations that call for a home run, and you have home run on your mind.
In 1987, the Cubs were looking for power on the free agent market. Andre Dawson made the Cubs an offer they couldn't refuse, and an instant love affair was born.
Wrigley was a second home, as I said, and it gave me new life. The fans, the bleacher bums, the right field army that was out there, I can't say enough how they energized, how they fueled me.
Dawson electrified the Wrigley crowds with his power, and in the last home at-bat of his MVP season, he delivered one final treat.
All year long, the fans have been bowing to him when he comes out to right field after a home run or a game-winning RBI. They've worshipped him. And on this last home game, he comes up for his last at-bat and hits his 47th home run.
The 2-1. Swung on, there she goes. Number 62. Move over, Big Mac. You got company. Sammy Sosa topped the 60 home run mark 3 times. The next generation of Cubs sluggers at Wrigley also found the park giveth and the park taketh away.
In April and May, it's not a home run park. It's just not. In the summer, it's probably the best home run park. You know, if you can't get up to play when you run out on the Wrigley field, you know, you have a problem because it's a special place to play. And the moment you step on the field and kind of look around, you feel the tradition.
Tonight at 9, Jim Ramsey has the latest weekend forecast and keeping Chicago safe, how communities are coming together to stop the violence over the weekend.
The first ever $5 flavor menu is here. For just $5 each, you can get a medium one-topping pizza, Wing Street wings, and your other hut favorites. It's the ultimate crowd pleaser. How are you feeling, crowd? Very pleased. The $5 flavor menu, only at Pizza Hut.
Whoa. Introducing gig speed internet from Xfinity. Visit Xfinity.com/gig to learn more today.
There are 93 days of summer. Head to the Acura Summer of Performance event going on now. Hit red lines across state lines. Hug new turns like old friends. Or just open it up on an open road. Summer's going fast, so don't waste a minute.
Visit your Chicagoland and Northwest Indiana Acura dealer for attractive offers on the TLX.
Ooh, a tire commercial. Turn it up. For a limited time only at NTB. Buy 2 tires, get 2 free with purchase of our value installation package on 4 select tires. That's right. Buy 2 tires, get 2 free. Over 400,000 tires are on sale. Like the new Continental Sure Contact RX, an ultra-high performance tire with true all-season traction. Buy 2 tires, get 2 free. Hurry, Labor Day savings ends soon. NTB. That's all you need.
Like any good Chicagoan, Wrigley Field has always found a way to embrace the winter months. Maybe holding a ski jumping contest in 1944 was going a bit too far, but hosting the NHL's Winter Classic, New Year's Day 2009, was certainly a home run.
That was unbelievable. I can remember walking down, from the dugout, when you walk down the hallways, and then all of a sudden you see the crowd and you feel the buzz, and it was a little cool that day, but it was that was an amazing day.
I got to play in that Winter Classic here, which was surreal, having a hockey game and being a Chicago kid, like you said. So this is great, and like I said, there's no better ballpark in the U.S.
The one thing that definitely stands out as far as venues is Wrigley Field. It's a huge part of Chicago sports history, and what's kind of cool to go visit when you come here to Chicago. So. To have the chance to play a hockey game there, that's a very rare occurrence.
18 months later, the city rejoiced when the Blackhawks brought the Stanley Cup to the park. The following fall, it was a festival of pigskin and purple at Wrigley as Northwestern hosted Illinois in a one-way Big Ten matchup. The Chicago Cardinals and even DePaul played some football at Wrigley. But the Cubs' longest-running roommates were the Big Brother Bears. Beginning in 1921, after the Cubbies left the field, the Bears took over Cubs Park. The Monsters of the Midway spent 50 seasons in the cozy confines on a quirky gridiron that was shoehorned into Wrigley Field's corners.
We're coming up on our centennial in 2020, and for half of that time, the Bears play their home games at Wrigley Field. And just a great place to watch a game. You were right on top of the action. I was in the Bears ticket office for 20 years, and people told me 20, 30 years after we left Wrigley that they could still remember what a great place it was to watch a game, how they could hear the quarterback barking out the signals. They were that close. They could hear the thump of the ball when the punter kicked it, right on top of the action. And we had some success there.
I can't believe at Wrigley Field how small it was to put a football field in there, and I guarantee you they put seats in there, stands in there, and I don't think there was a free ticket any place to get in that place.
Bears game had a certain magic about it here. Was wall to wall, almost like carpeting, and you could barely squeeze these teams in here.
I would say the one great thing about Wrigley Field is when you played a football game, the fans were right there. I mean, you know, of course, they brought out temporary bleachers in the outfield, but they were right on top of you.
Wrigley Field was really something special. You know, you talk about, I don't think there was really a bad seat in that ballpark. I mean, they were right on top of us.
Fans were right on the field, right next to you. They sold field seats, and when we were standing on the sideline after we came out of the locker room where we stood, they were right there among us. So sometimes you'd have conversations with people standing there during the game, and they'd be asking me questions, and you know, it was kind of a hometown feeling.
You know, they covered the dugouts. They put wood across the dugouts, but guys slid into the wood, went on across the wood. Some guys went down into the dugout.
On the other end, you had the dugout, and about 2.5 feet of that was eaten up as the end zone. We never had anybody run to that wall either, so we were aware that it was there. And, you know, you don't play against the wall, you play on the field.
The Bears won 8 National Football League titles while playing at Wrigley Field, the last one in 1963 with a punishing team that put the D in domination.
We were the best. We were absolutely the best on both sides of the ball. Everybody came to play. There was no prisoners taken.
We were really a defensive-led team. There's no question about it. But the one thing we did do on offense is we could run the football, and we didn't turn it over. We didn't do a lot of dumb things.
Playing smart and tough as they had all year, the Bears beat the Giants 14-10 to warm the hearts of all Chicagoans on a 4-degree day when the wind chill was 11 below zero.
You don't notice the cold after you get going like that, and especially when you win. You never know how cold it is when you're winning.
I remember it was very cold, but the field was in great condition. And what struck me, and I've said this before, is coming out in the field to warm-ups, and I looked around. They had all the red, white, and blue bunting all around the stadium, and I said, my God, this looks just like Yankee Stadium in the World Series game, so I guess this is a World's Championship.
Red Grange made his pro debut at Wrigley on Thanksgiving Day in 1925, and a parade of Hall of Famers followed him throughout the years. The greatest individual performance in Wrigley's storied history didn't happen on the baseball diamond. It came on a muddy day in 1965 when a Kansas Comet streaked through the San Francisco 49ers for 6 touchdowns.
Just my day, you know, and I didn't have any low-cut football, shoes, anything like that. I knew it that day, in my warm-up, I knew that I was doing some things that they couldn't do because the field was kind of muddy, and I had a feel for the field during that time.
It was the greatest performance on any field anywhere by one player. When you consider the field and the conditions of the field, everybody was slipping and sliding except Gale Sayers. 6 touchdowns.
I had the field to myself, and they scored on another long run and a pass return and things like that, and they couldn't touch me. Couldn't touch me.
He was cutting like he was in an indoor practice facility, and 49ers defenders are sliding all over the place.
it was a great game for me and for the team.
The Bears said goodbye to Wrigley in 1970, but the memories from 50 Northside seasons live forever.
It's a temple. It's a shrine. It's a special feeling every time you go there for a Cubs game. But for it to be part of the Bears' history for 50 years, from our earliest days right through one of our last championship teams, it's a special place.
Things really move fast at a Hyundai sales event.
This is amazing.
So what do you think?
I'm going back in.
Oh, excuse me.
Act fast today and make no monthly payments until 2017.
Grand Appliance and TV is celebrating grand openings in Lake Zurich and Downers Grove. Check out some of these amazing deals. Get this Frigidaire 4-piece stainless steel kitchen for just $18.98. Upgrade to a dispensing French door and get the package for just $22.98. Get better cleaning with huge laundry savings, like this Samsung front-load steam washer for only $4.38. Visit our newest showrooms on Rand Road in Lake Zurich and on Butterfield Road in Downers Grove, or any of our 10 Chicagoland showrooms. Grand Appliance and TV. You make it home, we make it grand.
I forgot my charger. Good thing I remembered the car.
The Cadillac XT5, tailored to you, offering wireless charging and OnStar 4G LTE and built-in Wi-Fi hotspot. Get this low-mileage lease on this Cadillac XT5 from around $439 per month. Visit your local Cadillac dealer today.
One call makes it simple. As a family-owned business, ABC Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electric understands your time is important and wants you to have more time to relax. So when it's time to schedule your visit, we'll make it easy. Experience for yourself the value of a trusted company and qualified technicians with our special drain clearing offer, $93 or free. Call 888-252-9955 or visit 4abc.com today, because it's as easy as ABC.
Monday, say goodbye to summer and hello to fall baseball. Cubs, Brewers, Monday at noon on WGN.
This is it. The Hyundai Act Fast sales event. It's go time.
Act fast today and lease the Tucson for $139 a month or the Santa Fe Sport for $159 a month.
Go Cubs, go! Go Cubs, go! Hey Chicago, what do you say? The Cubs are gonna win today.
There's a ground ball left field, the base hit. The ball goes over here. Look at Russell with hands upraised. This crowd refuses to leave. They're still standing around here. They won't go home.
You never know what you're going to get in this park, and it doesn't matter what inning it is or what the score is. If you're down 9-0, this game is not over.
After being behind 9-0, Cubs win.
The Cubs did come back from a 9-0 deficit to win that 1989 Classic, and in 1922, they won the highest scoring game in MLB history, 26-23 over Philadelphia. But when you think of wild ones at Wrigley, nothing compares to a warm May day in 1979 when the Phillies took their revenge.
Hey, kiss him goodbye. It is gone. It's a tie game.
We got way ahead, and then they came back, tied it up, and they got ahead, and tied up again, and we ended up winning 23-22.
Mike Smith has just gotten his second home run of the day, and now the Phillies lead in this ball game by a score of 23-22.
And it was just one of those things where, you know, you go for the extra point or the 2-point conversion because it was just an unbelievable game.
In the spring of 1970, Cubs fans were as antsy as Ernie's fingers on the bat as they watched their hero march towards his 500th home run. On May 12th, Mr. Cub hit the magic homer.
That's a fly ball deep to left, back. That's it. Hey, he did it. Ernie Banks got number 500. A line drive shot into the seats and left. The ball tossed to the bullpen. Everybody on your feet. This is it. Woo!
Opening day produced many great moments, such as Larry Bittner's walk-off home run in 1978 and 3 surprising home runs from Tuffy Rhodes in 1994. The opener in 1971 featured Hall of Famers Fergie Jenkins and Bob Gibson's throwing up zeros, but the game ended in the 10th with another Wrigley memory from Billy Williams.
There's a pretty good shot to center field. A very good shot. The ball game's over. The Cubs win it on a Billy Williams home run.
The Midsummer Classic made 3 appearances at Wrigley. In 1947, a Stan Spence single gave the American League a 2-1 win. In 1962, the Americans won again by a 9-4 count, and then in 1990, the AL went 3 for 3 with a 2-0 win on a rainy night in Chicago.
A tag and a throw by Strawberry at the plate. He is out on the most exciting play of the All-Star game.
Another All-Star legend made his Major League debut at Wrigley in 1994, and it was a sight to see basketball's greatest player showing off his baseball chops in a Cubs-Sox exhibition game.
And Jordan with an RBI single. How about that?
The World Series has remained elusive, but the expansion of the baseball playoffs has given Cub fans a reason to see the postseason with some great clinching moments at Wrigley.
Off the fists, and Grace will take it. The Cubs have won it, and they will go to the postseason. Double play ball, second base wide, on to first. The Cubs are the champions of the Central. He got him! A strikeout! The Cubs win! The Chicago Cubs are heading to the National League Championship Series.
1972 was the year of the no-hitter at the park, starting in April when rookie Bert Hooton throttled the Phillies. It was a quirky day all around, with manager Leo DeRocher homesick and Cubs starter Fergie Jenkins spending the day in the broadcast booth.
The way the fans feel, and I feel, I think that this young fella's got a better than average shot right here.
Strike 3. It's a no-hitter. A no-hitter for the kid, Bert Hooton. And look at him grab him. Everybody pouring out of the bench. Fans racing onto the field.
In September, Wrigley hosted a true rarity, a disappointing no-hitter. Working on a perfect game with 2 outs in the 9th, Milt Pappas didn't get a close call from home plate umpire Bruce Fremming, and he walked Larry Stahl. After jawing for several minutes, Pappas composed himself and finished the job.
There's a high fly ball. Short right, should be caught. Fan zone's out there on the grass. He has it. It's a no-hitter for Pappas. A no-hitter from Milt Pappas.
Those moments and many more featured signature calls from 2 amazing men. For 50 years over the airways, Cubs fans were treated to a daily dose of Wrigley Field baseball from 2 Hall of Famers, Jack Brickhouse and Harry Carey.
It's humbling to just be in an area and in a ballpark where those guys worked for decades and decades is something that it's hard to describe, hard to put into words, but I feel it every single day I walk into this park.
I was blessed to have that opportunity. A game from like a Jack Brickhouse and a Vince Lloyd and a Lou Boudreau and those type of guys that, you know, taught us all as kids growing up in Chicago about baseball.
But out there behind me in those bleachers, I see the greatest fans in the world.
How do I feel about having been part of all this? I'm proud. I really am. I figure I'm one of the luckiest guys in the world because, first of all, describing my job itself, I've often said that I'm a good example of how in America, if you really put your mind to it, you can make a good living without working.
Jack's successor never stopped working to promote the joys of a day at Wrigley Field.
But you can beat this ballpark for familiarity. The fans can see the expression on the face, can read their lips, can hear what they say to each other. It's great.
Holy cow!
We sit down with some Northside legends, have a Cubs Man Crush Monday, and we break down the pennant race. A CLTV Sports Feed Cubs special, Monday night at 8 on WGN. Sports Feed is presented by the Bob Rohrman Auto Group. Visit them at Rohrman.com.
It's time to get out of your home and into the neighborhoods. See
Every day is an adventure at Clark and Addison. The chance to see something you've never seen before and the chance to make a new memory.
It's just full of energy. It's amazing. You can go on a road trip, you can lose 5 out of 6 games, and you're a little bit tired. You come here and you got 40,000 people here, and all of a sudden you're ready to go.
Obviously, it's in a very, very vibrant neighborhood and community, and you're outside, you get off the L, and there's the crowds and all these people, and there's so much going on. Then you walk in and you get through the concourse, and then you get to your seat and you see that this beautiful green field in the midst of all this chaos and just the game going on out there. I mean, it just makes a perfect contrast.
There's nothing better than a weekend afternoon. The ballpark is full. There's an intensity. There's a buzz around the ballpark. Nobody's doing the damn wave. People are focused on the game. Well, some people are drinking to excess. I'll admit that.
When I come back, it's like you can feel Wrigley from 2 blocks away. You know, you can see the people scuffling down the sidewalks and the excitement, and you can just almost feel it about 2 blocks away.
It really is a special place to come every single day, regardless of who the Cubs are playing, what their record is, what time of the year it is.
They're so passionate for this organization and for this team and the history that comes with it. Regardless how great a season we're having or how bad of a season we're having, when they see good baseball, they acknowledge it.
Thank God I ended up in being a closer, so I didn't come down until the 7th inning to get my pitching tips from some of the guys that had a few beers. But it was fun, you know, when you got out there, it was like the regulars.
It's energy every day. Coming to the ballpark, going out on the field before the game, just seeing the fans and the bleachers and everywhere, how excited they are for the game. That's Wrigley Field.
There's no automated clap, clap, clap. There's no noise meter telling them to get up. People are just responding to the moment. People come to Wrigley Field. They want to see the home team win. They get caught up in the magic of the ballpark.
When Hollywood visits Chicago to take in a ball game or take a day off, there's only one place in Chicago to go.
1060 West Addison.
Let's go.
Once the ballpark is safely located, there's movie magic to be made and the chance to walk on the green grass of Wrigley or showcase a magic arm.
Growing up, my favorite movie was Rookie of the Year. So when I got called up, I was looking for that big green door that he goes in, Henry goes in when he first gets to Wrigley.
Come on in.
Those doors opened for concerts in 2005, and Wrigley Field quickly became the place to play for some of the biggest names in music. When the Telstar satellite went up in 1962, the first American television pictures exported to Europe were from Wrigley Field. Now, what could be more American?
Good evening, Europe. We had intended to take you at this time to Washington, where the President's weekly news conference is about to begin. But because of early acquisition at Andover, we got the Telstar circuit early, and the President has not yet started. So, suppose we take you to a baseball game in Chicago instead.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have just been informed that this baseball game is being seen in Europe right now over the Telstar satellite. Let's give all the baseball fans in Europe a big hello from Chicago.
It was great, and for me it was terrific because someone hit a ball to right field and I had to make a catch, and somebody said, "You're on world televised, you're on TV," and people call and talk to me about that for a long time. So you're famous all over the world.
Where else but Wrigley could you find a public address announcer who doubled as a ball boy and handled his duties on the field for almost 60 years?
Correct lineup for today's ball game.
I think the one thing that always sticks out in my mind coming here, whether to watch a game or play, was Pat Piper. I never saw anybody sit on the field like that and have a ball bag. And I didn't pay too much attention to it when I came here as a spectator as a kid. But when I came here as a player later on and saw Pat on numerous occasions pick up a pass ball or a wild pitch and stick it back in the ball bag, and then everybody's scrambling around. What do we do now? Pat Piper's got the ball in his bag. But he was a fixture here at Wrigley Field for so long.
This is a park where if a ball gets stuck in the drain, you should go get it. But you never, ever reach for a ball in the ivy. A hard lesson learned by many, including Cubs left fielder Julio Zuleta.
I was told many times, and I learned through the years that you don't go in there to get a ball out of there.
Well, I think I wrote in my story, it looked like he was making a tossed salad in left field because he was trying to get the ball and vines were flying all over the place.
Celebrities of all sorts visit Wrigley, but when the sitting president came to the park, Harry Carey had no choice but to turn over the mic.
And there goes a ball down over second base, and it's a hit out into center field. 1 run in, men on first and third.
Even the president knew better than to take the mic in the 7th inning. That time belonged to Harry, who brought a new tradition to Wrigley in 1982. One of the greatest athletic feats in the history of the park was by a 58-year-old coach with 2 artificial hips who raced up the ramps at Wrigley, barreled into the broadcast booth, and cranked out the song in under 22 seconds.
A 1 and a 2 and a 3. Take me out to the ball game. Take me out with the crowd. All these
I don't worry about the hips. I was worry about the old ticker going there. That was a little too high for me. Yeah, they get a big kick out of me because I can't sing, and that's okay. I don't mind it.
From Ditka to Dunston to Durham to DeCenzo, Cubs photographer Steve Green has seen them all in 30-plus years at the park. He loves his ivy-covered studio and loves the daily changes that come with it.
The wind obviously affects the game, but for me, the light here changes. And as you know, watching a game during the day, the light can change totally from clouds coming up the lakefront, from the way the sun comes across the ballpark. So I love that about it, and that's the thing that I'm most enamored with about Wrigley, other than the closeness that we have to the game, is the way the light affects the ballpark. The people that work here, from the ushers to the grounds crew to the PR people, they all love the park, and there's a respect for it. And there's a real pride in being part of this place. The game and the business of the game has changed totally, but the being here and being part of it has not.
One thing that'll never change is no matter the record, the Cubs win always makes for a memorable day.
Pat Hughes has the great line, it never gets old. And I think about that a lot when the Cubs have a lead late, even when they're not playing well in general.
I almost get goosebumps thinking about it, but no matter where the Cubs are in the standings, you see that moment when the Cubs are getting close to a victory at Wrigley Field, and it never does get old.
More police in Chicago. Mayor Emanuel says he plans to hire more officers, and kidnapping in the suburbs. New details about an abduction in Glen Ellen. That's tonight at 9.
This September on Chicago's very own, primetime means it's a prime time to laugh.
Where do you think you're going to meet this beauty queen?
Are we in agreement on this?
Yes, we are. To cheer.
Cubs win!
I'm a winner.
To remember. This September, watch WGN.
The Kia Top Quality Sales Event is ending soon, but you can still get 0% APR for up to 66 months, plus $1,000 bonus cash on the Forte sedan and hatchback, both backed by our 10-year, 100,000-mile warranty. Hurry into your Kia retailer before September 6th.
The average age of a homeless person is 9 years old. My dream is to help kids living on the streets with education.
Charles, what's up, buddy?
Mind we help? Oh, man.
Is that a basketball player?
Yes. Wow. How you doing?
Kevin Durant.
My heart about to jump off my chest, man.
Charles, you ought to be proud, man.
I'm just extremely grateful they were here, giving them some encouragement. That's something that these kids are going to remember for a lifetime.
You see his big old feet?
Oh.
Ooh, a tire commercial. Turn it up. For a limited time only at NTV. Buy 2 tires, get 2 free with purchase of our value installation package on 4 select tires. That's right. Buy 2 tires, get 2 free. Over 400,000 tires are on sale, like the new Continental Sure Contact RX, an ultra-high performance tire with true all-season traction. Buy 2 tires, get 2 free. Hurry, Labor Day savings ends soon. NTV. That's all you need.
Furnishing your home is a little bit like cooking. My next-door neighbor, for instance, she likes things spicy. And my best friend, she's into natural organic greens. And Lazy Boy makes all of it. Really, Lazy Boy Furniture Galleries. Live life comfortably.
The Kia Top Quality Sales Event is ending soon, but you can still get 0% APR for up to 66 months, plus $1,000 bonus cash on the sleek Optima and Optima Hybrid, both backed by our 10-year, 100,000-mile warranty. Hurry into your Kia retailer before September 6th.
I love when I meet people who are in Wrigley for the first time, and I always say, welcome to the greatest place on earth.
It's not just the fans who love Wrigley. For 100 years, playing in the friendly confines has been a bright spot on visitors' schedules for players and coaches and managers and anybody else who can make the trip.
It's unbelievable, man. I mean, you know, you come in here as a visitor and you get a sense of it. You know, it's always sold out. Fans are passionate.
So the teams that come once every 6 years, they bring their entire front offices with them and their families. You see that a lot here.
She stands alone on the corner of Clark and Addison, this dowager queen, dressed in basic black and pearls, 75 years old, proud head held high and not a hair out of place, awaiting yet another date with destiny, another time for Mr. Right.
Going to Wrigley Field has always been a thrill for me. I can remember in the early days when I would go to Wrigley, there was a full orchestra on Sunday behind home plate with a male singer and a female singer. And no matter how you felt Sunday morning when you got to the ballpark, you heard that orchestra. It just lifted everything up.
Managing the game in the first base dugout at Wrigley has always presented unique difficulties, even for a guy who knows the ballpark as both a manager and a former Cub.
The first thing is positioning. I mean, I'm a big believer, you know, you see the field and we have an idea of where guys are supposed to be. On the defensive side especially. You know, he's not on the line, he's off the line, second baseman, shortstop. I mean, it's really hard to see unless you perch up on the top step. And I never like to do that.
It was a lot more fun as a player. Because as a manager, when you looked up at that flag and realized when you had a 6-7 run lead, it wasn't enough sometimes.
You have to warn guys about celebrating excessively. If you jump up on that bench too quickly, you'll hit your head on the ceiling of the dugouts, and you know, with that squatchy on top of the hat, that could do some serious damage. But you know, more than anything else, I think just preparing for the nuances of this field. The ivy, how is that going to play?
Going back. Off the wall, here comes a run around third base, scoring. He's having trouble getting the ball out of the ivy.
The best always brought their best to Wrigley, where baseball royalty has been on display on a daily basis for a century.
However, it is caught by Clemente with a tremendous running, sliding catch.
It's what you grew up if you watch baseball movies as a kid, and you hear the spikes on the concrete. And you know, so you make that walk. And again, you know, Willie Mays made that walk, and Hank Aaron, all these guys, and you feel a sense of fraternity with the greats of the game.
I've had some good memories here. I had a home run off Ferguson Jenkins here, which I still apologize for. I was always afraid I was going to keep him out of the Hall of Fame. So every time I see him, and he was here last night, I apologize again.
That's hit. Oh, maybe it'll go foul. It is a home run. Oh, brother. Willie Mays really hit it. Fly ball, right field. That's very deep. That's way back there. Back she goes. Number 652 for Mays.
Willie Mays holds the park record for visiting players with 54 homers, while Hank Aaron hammered 50 round-trippers of his own. Phillies third baseman Mike Schmidt hit 548 homers in his Hall of Fame career. 50 of those came at Wrigley Field, though any Cub fan will tell you it seemed more like 350.
Hey, whatever we got to do to get a game in at Wrigley Field is fine with us, because you know, it's a nice small ballpark, and if you get the ball in the air and the wind's blowing out, you can hit some home runs.
Schmidt turned each visit to Chicago into his own personal hit parade, never more so than in 1976, when he became the only player to have a 4-home-run game at Wrigley.
I have some special memories of specific games in Wrigley Field. The first one for me, of course, was 1976, when I hit 4 straight home runs, and we ended up winning a ball game 14-13. And I remember my at-bats in that game, and I think I popped up, and then I hit a ground ball single between third and short, and then homered 4 straight times. I had a 5-for-6 day with 8 RBIs. But the great thing about that day was we came from behind in that game and won it 14-13.
Mike Schmidt has hit his 4th consecutive home run in this ball game.
I've always had pretty good success in the ballpark as a player. But it was always very unique. You know, these fans, you can feel their breath on your necks. You know, and 100 years old, and yet it's still the place to be.
Hit to deep left, and it's going to go back of the bleachers for a 2-run homer.
You know, once you get onto the field here, it's a great atmosphere, and you know, you really can't beat it. I mean, it's always been good games here. You know, this place, Fenway, Old Yankee Stadium, you know, they just have a certain feel to them because of the history. They've been here so long. You know, on the field, there's been a lot of great players that have played on this field, and you definitely make note of that when you come here.
It's just a great history here. You know, it's a great place to play. Obviously, playing field, I always love it to come here to Chicago, and you know, the fans are great, and you know, 100 years, man, it's a long time. So I mean, this place is still beautiful.
Another legendary Cardinal slugger was the man of the hour with his own beautiful moment in 1958.
Here's the pitch. Line drive, that is into left field. Hit number 3,000. A run is scored.
Stan Musial's 3,000th hit showed it's not just the home run hitters who have great memories at Wrigley. A point Pete Rose made when he tied Ty Cobb on the all-time hit list in 1985.
Plenty of pitching milestones have come at Wrigley, including this Cole Hamels no-hitter in 2015. Only 2 other opposing no-nos have come at the park, both by Reds pitchers and both in 10 innings. 1917, Fred Toney and the Cubs' Jim Hippo Vaughn both went hitless through 9 before Toney and the Reds prevailed in the 10th. 1965 was Jim Maloney's turn. 12 strikeouts, 10 walks. Maloney faced his 40th batter, Ernie Banks, with a tying run on first.
Ground ball. Picked by Cardenas over to second out. Rose relays. The ball game is all over. Maloney's got a no-hitter.
28 years later, it was still another Reds pitcher who made headlines on a day when he didn't even take the mound. Tom Browning took a walk across the street instead, and his rooftop visit cost him a few dollars in fine money, but it turns out the view was worth it.
We walked up 3 flights of stairs. I took my sweatsuit off, got on the little railing there. There was a landing right below me, so it wasn't like it was on the edge of the roof. But I got up there, and I took my hat off, started waving my guys in the bullpen, and they saw me, and they stood up and they waved back.
I guess those fans out on the rooftop are really having fun.
Hey, baseball fans, Cubs and White Sox seasons are in full swing, but Dish isn't carrying WGN-TV. So unless things change, regular Dish customers keep losing. More Cubs games, gone. More White Sox games, gone. A thrilling playoff race, gone. Call 855-YES-WGN9 and tell Dish you want your games back on before it's too late.
Don't miss Mattress Firm's Labor Day sale with store-wide savings of up to $500. This Friday through Monday, get huge doorbuster deals, like a free adjustable base with purchase of select mattresses valued up to $1,598, and firm queen sets for just $159.99. Plus, get a free 2-pack of memory foam pillows with select purchases. And through Monday, get 0% APR for 72 months, only at Mattress Firm.
The best part about high-speed internet from AT&T is definitely the savings. What? But all the money we save on mobile data usage with the wireless gateway?
Yeah, that's great. But with the faster internet speed, it's so much easier to video chat, play online games, post pics.
But we also get a great
stream
price.
Music, download movies, load videos.
Chicago, switch to high-speed internet from AT&T and get our 45 meg internet plan for only $30 a month with another qualifying service.
The best part about high-speed internet from AT&T is definitely the speed.
Then again, the savings are really good too.
Switch to high-speed internet from AT&T and get our 45 meg internet plan for only $30 a month with another qualifying service. Chicago, this isn't an introductory rate. You'll get an everyday price with no extra monthly fees. Because with AT&T, you only pay one price, the one you sign up for. Call now.
You paid too much for those glasses.
Who?
You. Designer frames? Well, so are these. And these. And these. And they all cost less than those.
How?
America's Best, where 2 pairs of designer glasses and a free eye exam start at $69.95. Get ready to
Turn some heads.
save money.
That's good, too.
The designer sales event is not just a better deal, it's America's Best. Hurry, sale ends Saturday.
Well, here's to you, man blue. You're the cream of the crop. You're a team built on dreams. You'll go right to the top.
There have been numerous teams honored with banners at Wrigley Field, but only 6 men have seen their numbers retired to the foul poles, including the greatest player to wear a home uniform at Wrigley Field, who first showed up at the park in 1953.
I stepped in the batting cage, and Bill Cabarretta was the manager. So I just became associated with the ballpark.
He's facing King Robert, and he hits a long drive. A long drive. Hooray! 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 Hey, hey! Hey, hey!
Banks was Mr. Cub and Mr. Wrigley Field, so it's no surprise that he coined the park's congenial nickname.
We would sit on the plate, and you know, after you're on the road for a while, lost a lot of games, you know, you're kind of down a little bit. So we sitting there and said, boy, we're getting back to the friendly confines. And, you know, it kind of stuck. You know, the writers was right there, and it kind of stuck. And it became a big thing with the team, with the philosophy of the organization, the Cub culture, and the people who come out there. I mean, it's a friendly place. It's just kind of tied in with the atmosphere of Wrigley Field.
In 1982, Ernie's number 14 was the team's first number to be retired, a dream come true for Mr. Cub.
I also want to thank all the fans who have given me the cheers, and I can still hear those cheers in my dreams today.
In 2008, Ernie became the first Cub player to be honored with his own statue and was happy to know he'd always be around.
Long after I'm not here, I'll still be here.
If Ernie's smile provided a face for the Cubs, the heartbeat of those teams belonged to Billy Williams, whose everyday excellence was honored on Billy Williams Day.
In a situation like this, it's a long line of people you should thank in this predicament. And of course, the one big man you could thank is the Almighty God.
Billy's number 26 was retired in 1987, the year he finally made the Hall of Fame.
I thought the climax was when I went to Cooperstown and was inducted in the Baseball Hall of Fame. It's nothing like being here among you, the fans. And this pays one of the greatest honors when your number is retired and put up on the flagpole. And of course, I think all of this recognition wouldn't have been impossible if I hadn't played here among some of the greatest fans in the world.
And when I turned around to see number 26, Williams iced it up, it gave me a great feeling. I think as long as the baseball park is there, I get a feeling when I go out the ballpark and look, you know, to the lake and see my flag. And of course, you always feel that as long as they got Wrigley Field, it will be there. And your grandkids will ride out to Wrigley Field or go to the baseball game and see number 26 flying. So it gave me a great feeling in a sense that it will be there forever.
In 2010, the Cubs unveiled Billy's statue, where his sweet swing greets fans at the corner of Addison and Sheffield.
It's really nice and give you a great feeling. And that will be there too. The grandkids, their kids will see it. So it lets you know that you left a legacy with the ball club. You did everything you could do to help the ball club win games, and all of a sudden, this is there for the fans.
Billy's longtime teammate Ron Santo provided the fire in the Cubs lineup each day with his bat, his glove, and his unbending will to win.
I had that passion. I believe our whole ball club in that
era had that kind of passion. I kind of carried my feelings on my sleeve, so I reacted to a lot of things that a lot of ball players might not react to, but that was my personality, and that's what brought out the best in me.
On the last day of the 2003 season, the Cubs gave Santo his due and retired his number 10.
It was heart-wrenching. I mean, it was so beautiful. And when I got to the mic, I didn't know what I was going to say, but it just came out. And what I said at the end, this is my Hall of Fame. That flag right there is my Hall of Fame. This flag hanging there down the left field line means more to me than the Hall of Fame. That is my Hall of Fame.
Santo and Billy Williams played more games together than any duo in Major League history, so it was fitting that in 2011, Santo joined his longtime teammate on the plaza outside Wrigley, where his trademark grace at third base is on display for all to enjoy. The Cubs' greatest second baseman actually played third when he first came to Chicago in 1982, but Ryne Sandberg made the transition seamlessly, where his gold glove and powerful bat sent him to the Hall of Fame.
I always used Wrigley Field as my home ballpark. It was a friendly place for me as far as my career went, as far as being able to see the ball and hit the ball, and it seemed like I always found my hitting stroke there if I was struggling.
If Sandberg ever needed a reminder on how lucky he was to play in the friendly confines, he got it from the opposition almost every day.
They would always comment to me, wow, this is a great atmosphere, this is baseball. And I heard that so often from the opposing players and teams, and I said, wow, you know, it's like this every day. It's a great place to play. The fans are right there. There's not a bad seat in the house.
Rhino's flag was added to the right field pole at Wrigley after his Hall of Fame induction in 2005.
The uniform flying on the right field pole, I think, just wraps up everything that memories, events, the games played, all the good things that I enjoyed about going there every single day is wrapped up into that one flag flying up there.
Wrigley Field has often been known as a pitcher's nightmare, but no one tamed it like Fergie Jenkins, who had a run of 6 straight 20-win seasons on his way to the Hall of Fame.
Attaboy, Joe. The ball is over.
As a pitcher, I knew Wrigley Field was a hitter's ballpark, but winning games was part of what the game was all about, and I turned it into a pitcher's ballpark.
I'm going to make them work to get base hits off me. Sure, I gave up some home runs, but I tried to minimize walks in front of some of the good hitters and to try to win as many games as possible.
In 2009, Fergie's number 31 was retired by the Cubs, a fitting honor for their greatest Wrigley Field pitcher.
When a ball club respects you that much to put your uniform number up there, you know, it kind of humbles you in some cases. But I think the respect of the organization to give me that opportunity to fly a number I wore here, and I'm proud of being able to have played as a Chicago Cub.
Fergie shared number 31 with Greg Maddux, another Bulldog who refused to be intimidated by Wrigley.
The biggest thing you remember about Wrigley, I mean, you remember the fans a lot. You really do, believe it or not. And they're almost like your teammates. There was so much in your corner that's something that the other teams don't really have that luxury to experience. And when you're winning, it's great. And when you're losing, you know what? It's not so bad because, you know, it's really an honor to wear that uniform and be a part of that organization. You got to keep it in the park. You got to learn how to, you know, the biggest thing about pitch selection is trying to keep it in front of the outfield. You know, that plays in any park. So, you know, that's kind of the secret. Everybody wants to know the secret is keep it in front of the outfield. You got a real good chance to win that day.
He was old school all the way, both in the way he played and in how he cherished every moment at Wrigley.
It really is an honor to be on that field. And, you know, the longer I pitched, the more I appreciated being there, the more I appreciated going there as a visiting player. You know, you think of all those things out there. And you know, I think, like I said, the older I got, the more I appreciated being there and just being a little bit, you know, just having a little bit of part of history there.
Maddux will always be a part of Wrigley Field. His number 31 was retired along with Jenkins in 2009.
Definitely want to thank Cubs, the whole organization, and absolutely the fans in the city. You guys accepted me from the day I got here. I appreciate that. Never forget you guys. It's pretty special, you know, and, you know, to be able to share that with Fergie as well was an honor, and it's pretty cool. You know, you sit in your house in Vegas and you watch a Cub game and they go to a commercial and they show it. It's kind of cool. You can, like, you know, talk a little smack to the kids.
Tonight at 9, Jim Ramsey has the latest Labor Day weekend forecast and more police in Chicago. What Mayor Emanuel is saying about hiring more officers. Kidnapping in the suburbs. New details from police about an abduction in Glen Ellen. And the controversy continues. What newly released FBI files are revealing about Hillary Clinton.
Monday, say goodbye to summer and hello to fall baseball. Cubs, Brewers, Monday at noon on WGN.
This Labor Day, the wait is over. Introducing Magnolia Home by Joanna Gaines. Available in stores now at Value City Furniture. Come experience Joanna's unique collection of furniture and accessories. 6 styles, endless possibilities. Plus, shop our extended selection of Magnolia Home products online at VCF.com. Hurry in this week to the Labor Day sale and enjoy free delivery right to your door. Plus, 48 months no interest financing. Now that's how to buy the perfect piece. Only at Value City Furniture.
Make all the right moves in your favorite athletic brands. Get to JCPenney and save on select Nike athletic shoes and apparel and get 50% off Exertion activewear. Now through Labor Day, JCPenney Rewards members get a $10 bonus reward when you spend $50 or more in activewear. Work out, chill out. That's getting your pennies worth.
It's the Lazy Boy Labor Day sale. We're finding great prices on great-looking furniture is no work at all. Save 30% store-wide Friday through Monday only. Plus, get no interest until January 2020. Lazy Boy Furniture Galleries. Live life comfortably.
It's a beautiful day for a ball game, out in the bright sunshine. There's no place for me like Wrigley Field with that team of mine.
This is something very special. I call it a cathedral. It's, if you love baseball, if you're a baseball fan, you walk into this place, the history is just dripping off the foul poles.
When the Cubs made a Friday the 13th trade in May of 1960, they had no idea what good luck would follow just 2 days later. Don Cardwell, who didn't know any of his new teammates, threw himself a welcome to Chicago party. Cardwell walked the first batter of the game, then set down 27 Cardinals in a row.
I think I had a great catcher in Dale Rice. He came over from Milwaukee, and he came out, Dale came out and early in the ball game, and he said, "Is anything I should call for?" And I says, "I don't know what it would be."
I always have told people through the years that on that particular day, maybe not the day after or the day before, but Cardwell probably had the fastest fastball of any pitcher I've ever seen.
He could throw hard, but I think the main thing with his ball was it had movement, and especially on that day.
1-2 pitch. Strike 3. Holy mackerel. Oh! Musial strikes out.
At the end of the ball game, you had my man in right field, George Altman, and George was about 6'4", 6'5", a basketball, a college player, and he can jump. He did get back, and he did get up into the vines in right field over there.
At that time, normally I would probably been a little bit more cautious about that wall, but knowing that my teammate had a no-hitter going, I had to catch that ball at all costs. So I went back and I jumped up against the wall, and thank goodness for the ivy, and was able to make the catch.
The savior really was the play that Walt Morin made at the last out. You know, a lot of people says, well, he is not that agile. And I says, I don't think so either, but he did a fine job, didn't he?
Watch it. There's a drive on the line to left field. Come on, Moose. He did it. He did it. Morin made a fabulous catch. It's a no-hitter. A no-hitter. And what a catch that Morin made. Oh, brother, what a catch he made.
Moose wasn't the fastest runner, so we were a little, at least I was a little afraid that he might not get to it, but he got to it, and that made that catch right off the shoe tops. So I imagine he was a little excited about the no-hitter too, and he was going to make that catch at all costs.
Vince Lloyd was down on the field, and I'm trying to think if he says, Don, let's get out of here before somebody gets hurt. Me.
Can we get some ushers here and help him out?
In the summer of 1984, the Cubs were beginning to make noise in the National League. When their rivals came calling in late June, Ryne Sandberg made sure the nation took notice of the Cubs with a legendary performance that became known simply as the Sandberg game.
Now the hitter doesn't know what to look for.
Everything clicked that day and really catapulted my career to a whole nother level as far as what I thought I should do on a baseball field.
Sandberg already had 3 hits and 4 RBIs in the game, but the Cubs were down a run when he led off the 9th against the greatest reliever in the game, former Cub Bruce Sutter.
Into left center field and deep. This is a tie ball game.
After the Cardinals scored 2 runs in the top of the 10th, the Cubs' last chance was Sandberg, and lightning struck again.
The game was running long. NBC was carrying the game, trying to get off the air. They'd already run the credits and everything else. Rhino hits one in the seat to tie. And everybody, Bruce Sutter gave up a tying home run. Nobody could believe it.
In the zone or unconscious, I don't know what you want to call it, but I was floating on clouds, running around the bases twice, hitting the ball off of Bruce Sutter like that.
For the Rhino to hit not only game tying, but a go-ahead home run off Bruce Sutter, the former Cub, to me that was just, just the greatest.
The wind was blowing in left field, and Sandberg came up and had a home run to tie the game. And then he hit a home run in the 11th inning off Sutter, the first guy that's ever done that. And then here come the Chicago press after the game, of course, and they said, what do you think about Sandberg? And I said, well, Ron Sandberg is a Hall of Fame player.
One moment that often goes unnoticed is that Rhino's home runs didn't win the game for the Cubs. That honor went to a backup infielder named Dave Owen in the 11th.
That's it.
That game didn't just change that season. It didn't just change the division standings. That game changed a guy's life. That game changed the franchise.
There's been a lot of great games. I don't think none better than that one. I'm a little prejudiced because I was in that game.
It was a very special game for myself personally on how I viewed myself as a baseball player, and to be able to hit those 2 home runs off the Bruce Sutter and have the Cubs, I think, come within a half a game of first place, which was a rare spot and a spot that I hadn't been with the Cubs.
Wrigley Field has never been the same, really, and I think you could point back to that day as the game that really changed everything for the franchise.
A no-hit game is all it is a well-pitched game with a lot of luck.
Becker makes this play. Beautiful.
The zaniness of 1969 reached its zenith on August 19th when left-hander Ken Holtzman treated a sellout crowd to a magical no-hitter against the Atlanta Braves, with all 3 Cub runs coming right off the bat. In this case, the bat of number 10.
Well hit, way back.
August 19th, 1969. Ron Santo, who I had known since I was about 10 years old, hits a 3-run homer off Phil Niekro in the first inning.
Armed with that lead, Holtzman shut down Atlanta until Hank Aaron led off the 7th inning with a drive that will be talked about as long as the wind blows at Wrigley.
The thing that I remember most about playing in Wrigley Field was not hitting a home run, hitting probably the hardest ball I've ever hit in my life, or Kenny Holtzman, when he pitched a no-hitter.
That's well hit. And there, I believe, goes the no-hitter. Caught by Williams.
I thought for sure that I had a home run. And sure enough, the wind blew it right back to Billy Williams.
I stayed with the ball, and all of a sudden, here it is in the glove. The no-hitter is intact. And it was really something because Aaron had gone into a little trap coming around to first base. He really thought the ball was hit out the ballpark.
Billy Williams back to the bleachers, back to the corner. Holy mackerel!
I can still see watching WGN Channel 9, Billy Williams going into that well in 1969 to make that catch. He never gave up on the ball.
I don't know who blew it back, but it certainly came back.
And when he hit it, I'll never forget, Billy caught it in that little nook out in left field and hammered, was almost to second base, and he kind of turned around and he kind of gave me a quizzical look. Like, you know, if that doesn't go out, I don't know what can, you know.
The Cubs had to use 2 catchers that day. Gene Oliver came in after Bill Heath broke his hand, but nothing fazed Holtzman. With 2 out in the 9th, Hammer and Hank stepped back in for the Braves.
But the most ironic thing about that day, I think I made the last out. So Kenny Holtzman was not afraid to pitch to me. He came right back and got me out for the last out.
Ball 3, strike 2. Here goes. Ground ball. Beckett up with it. The throw to Banks. It's a no-hitter. It's a no-hitter for Kenny Holtzman. Look at this. Oh, brother.
You saw him kind of shake a little bit like he had nerves. And he finally got enough, and he threw it over to Ernie, and that was it. That was the last I remember because Sano jumped on me, and I don't remember anything after that.
For some crazy reason, about 40 of us jumped on the field, and I wore glasses at that time. I remember hitting a warning track, and my glasses went one way, and I went the other.
When he won that no-hitter, I think almost all of us were positive. This is the year of destiny. This has to be it.
Streaming onto the field.
We're going behind the scenes with your favorite Chicago food show.
We're a show about people and places.
Tune in for an inside look at Chicago's best, Tuesday night at 8 on WGN.
It's time to get out of your home and into the neighborhoods. See Chicago is all about shopping. This looks like a ta-da moment. Entertainment. Nobody loses with cocktails. And events. How is that 2-year-old dancing way better than I am? Join me as we see Chicago. Tuesday night at 8:30 on WGN-TV.
Hey Chicago, we're introducing our best deal ever. When you switch to high-speed internet from AT&T, you'll get an everyday price with no extra monthly fees.
Switch today and get our best deal ever, our 45 meg internet plan for only $30 per month with a qualifying AT&T service.
No matter what you use it for, you'll get fast speed at an affordable price. Download a TV show in about a minute and stream your favorite shows on up to 8 devices at one time. All with over 99% reliability for a connection you can count on.
Switch today and get our best deal ever, our 45 meg internet plan for only $30 per month with a qualifying AT&T service. That's right, Chicago. This isn't an introductory rate, and your monthly internet equipment fee is included.
Because with AT&T, you only have to pay one price, the one you sign up for. Don't wait. Call an AT&T expert to switch today.
This week on WGN Morning News, we question Governor Bruce Rauner.
Do you like Mike Madigan?
And Police Superintendent Eddie Johnson.
I think we're making some headway.
Team talked one-on-one with Clint Eastwood, and comedian John Lovett stopped by.
Hello.
Next week, hot celebrity homes for sale. We're celebrating the 50th anniversary of Star Trek. We sit down with actors Aaron Eckhart and Laura Linney. And we talk with the real Captain Sullenberger about the movie Sully. Next week on WGN Morning News, Chicago's must-watch morning news.
When the Cubs go marching in.
The Cubs' greatest decade at Wrigley Field was the 1930s, and the last pennant of the decade was due to the team's biggest home run in the history of the park. In perfect Wrigley fashion, the blow came about in the tug-of-war between day and night.
And I think the most memorable game here in Wrigley Field history was the homer in the Glowman. In 1938, Gabby Hartnett hit a home run that moved the Cubs into first place. In August of 38, the Cubs were in fourth place, 8.5 games out. They were dead in the water. The string of a pennant every 3 years was over. The Pirates were a dominant force. They're going to win the pennant.
In baseball generally, I would say Hartnett is one of the great forgotten figures. Yeah, he's in the Baseball Hall of Fame, but nobody talks about him as being on an equivalent to Berra and Campanella and Bench, and I think he's right up there with them. Hartnett was the fellow who started the very first All-Star game for the National League and started the next 4 as well. With darkness descending, the umpire was prepared to call a tie. And in those days, you would not pick up the game from the point of suspension. The game would have to be wiped. It was a no decision.
The Pirates go down without scoring a run in the top of the ninth. The first two Cubs are retired in the bottom of the ninth. The game's going to end in a tie. They're going to have to replay the game the next day as part of a doubleheader. Mace Brown gets 2 strikes past Hartnett. Pitches, but Hartnett admits he couldn't even see because of the darkness. The next pitch, Brown's pitch comes a little higher. Hartnett swings, connects, homers into the left center field for the game winner to get the Cubs a 6-5 win.
Mace Brown, who was a terrific relief pitcher for the Pirates, threw the pitch that Hartnett hit. Hartnett said afterwards he didn't see it land in the stands, but he knew it was gone. It seems nobody saw it land in the stands, but everyone accepted that it must have because Hartnett rounded the bases with such conviction.
Hartnett's circling the bases. Fans are storming the field. The players are storming the field. The Andy Frayne ushers are trying to block the baseline so Gabby can complete his run. Gabby finally steps across home plate. The Cubs have the win. The Cubs have erased an 8.5-game lead and are now in first place.
So many people on the field, and believe me, when I touched third base, my feet never touched the ground until I got to home.
By golly, as soon as he hit that home run, and the time he started circling second round, that fans, and they just piled in like a avalanche.
On May 6, 1998, a crowd of about 15,000 braved some lousy weather to come to Wrigley Field on a Wednesday afternoon, not knowing they would see history. Kerry Wood was making his 5th big league start and throwing to catcher Sandy Martinez for the first time, and threw perhaps the greatest game ever pitched in the major leags.
There's been a lot of special things that have happened in this stadium over the long history of it, and for my game to be, on that list is a special thrill.
The gunslinger ready, the 2-2. Strike, 3 call. He punched out the order in the first.
You never know what you're going to see here. Kerry Wood's game, for example. I mean, it's the guy's 5th start, crappy day, drizzly. He's out there. Who knows what you're going to get? He goes out and strikes out 20 batters.
My favorite game by far, and I never hesitate, Kerry Wood's 20 strikeout game. Shy kid, big raw-boned kid, epitomized the word phenom. That kid from Texas, the flaxen-haired kid who threw hard, raw-boned.
It was clear very early in that game that Houston had absolutely no chance. And this is a lineup with a couple of guys who are going to be in the Hall of Fame, several All-Stars, and some great hitters. And Kerry Wood was making them look sick.
Amazing. His 5th start. It is the best pitch game I've ever seen as a big league announcer, and I've covered over 5,000 games, and I've covered no hitters. But Kerry's one hitter that day, the best game I've ever seen pitched. His breaking ball was breaking like a wiffle ball. The ones without holes, when you used to throw into the wind as a kid, and it would break 12 feet.
Did he go? Yes, he did!
All you have is a nubber off the glove of Kevin Ory. You're talking about a no-hitter, and you're talking about maybe the greatest pitch game in the history of baseball.
It was one of those days where it was literally felt like I was in the backyard playing catch.
Rarely do you come across a game at this level where the players are so good, where one guy can dominate that much.
What can you say? 18 strikeouts. It's a new Cub record.
I appreciate it now, and because I'm a 20-year-old kid, you're like, man, this was easy. I'm going to do this again next week. I'm going to do it again in 4 days, and really, you think that.
Here comes the hook. Got him! 20 strikeouts. He ties the major league record.
Now looking back on it, Gracie quoted it and said it the best. Either I was too young and dumb to know any better, and there's something to be said about that.
I'm going to give most of the credit to the fans. They were in it the whole game, and every time I got 2 strikes, they were on their feet. And you can't ask for anything more than that. My adrenaline was racing.
The most famous moment in Wrigley Field history was supplied by the most famous player in baseball history. When the Yankees came to town up 2-0 in the 1932 World Series, the Cubs and their fans were ready to make life miserable for Babe Ruth. That crowd included a 10-year-old boy who was seeing his first big league game thanks to his uncle, the commissioner of baseball, Judge Kennesaw Mountain Landis.
We were in the commissioner's box, and now that was a heck of a thrill because it was right alongside the Cubs dugout and a great view of home plate. And So, and of course, the fact that Babe Ruth was going to be a real threat to the Cub fans at that time. Babe Ruth seemed to be responding back to the fans. It was kind of a game of its own sort, where the fans were razzing him, and he was turning around and acknowledging the razz.
The Cubs players were out of the dugout. Can you imagine that happening today? They were out of the dugout, heckling him. Right in front of the commissioner was sitting right in that box right off their dugout, so he's hearing all this stuff.
As I remember it, there was a byplay going on back and forth between Guy Bush and Babe Ruth. And I don't know exactly what the issue was, but they were razzing one another.
When Ruth was asked after the season to describe the vituperation he was coming in for from the Cubs dugout, he expressed it as, and they were saying, booyah, ooyah, and he would make up words because the words that were flying out at him he could not utter for the camera. It was a family show.
The first strike came, and the fans really gave him extra razzes. So Babe turned around and held up his right hand.
Cubs had tremendous bench jockeys. The whole time they were questioning Ruth's background, his heritage, the whole shot. Well, Ruth begins to point. Now, what's he pointing at? Well, one speculation says is Ruth is actually pointing out towards right center field that he's going to call a home run. Other speculation says he's yelling at Guy Bush, who is the pitcher for the next day.
Ruth, I thought, was responding to Bush, pointed his bat at the scoreboard. And I remember thinking, I'm going to knock you to the moon, or something like that, is what he was saying. It seemed to be part of the interchange. I didn't interpret it as saying I'm going to hit a home run, which of course he did. But he then hit the next pitch out of the ballpark.
He held up 2 fingers, again, all the way up. And no doubt about it, I think in thousands of fans that were watching this, that he was saying, just wait, this is only strike 2. Then he turned, took his stance in the batting area there, and pointed again. This time, one finger up high in the air, well up over center field, over second base, and towards center field. And then the next pitch, he lofted a high fly ball.
If he was pointing, it wasn't nearly as dramatic as kind of the movies or the legend has it, but he definitely made some sort of a gesture, and he definitely was challenging.
Is he pointing to center field, or is he merely gesturing to the Cubs dugout along the third base line? I think probably the latter. This story is so good that it has to be true. We want it to be true.
This was probably the most unique at-bat maybe in the history of baseball. When you think about the circumstances.
I pointed. I said, I'm going to hit the next pitch ball right past the flagpole. Well, the good Lord must have been with him.
The pointing to center field, which Ruth embraced wholeheartedly, because the Bambino knew a good story when he saw it, even if it wasn't his own. It was supplied to him. He embraced it, and he told it with more and more flourishes over the years.
He had called his shot. Now, I thought that was great.
Forget for a moment whether or not he pointed or didn't point. I mean, it was just an unprecedented, unparalleled moment in the history of baseball. I think when you look back at the history of this place, you know, to have, even though it was against the Cubs, to have Babe Ruth have his defining moment take place here, I think that's something special.
Tonight at 9, suburban kidnapping, what police are saying about an abduction in Glen Ellen, and what newly released FBI files are revealing about Hillary Clinton.
This Labor Day, the wait is over. Introducing Magnolia Home by Joanna Gaines. Available in stores now at Value City Furniture. Come experience her unique collection of furniture and accessories. And shop today for free delivery, plus special financing. Only at Value City Furniture.
4x for being one with the water, sand, and the land. For those that let the open air guide them. For inspired style. matched only by what it stands for. So head into your local Jeep dealer and take advantage of summer savings while summer's still here.
Now get an extra $500 bonus cash on select models. Or get 20% off MSRP cash allowance on select 2016 Jeep Cherokee models in dealer stock.
Grand Appliance and TV is celebrating grand openings in Lake Zurich and Downers Grove. Check out some of these amazing deals. Get this Frigidaire 4-piece stainless steel kitchen for just $18.98. Upgrade to a dispensing French door and get the package for just $22.98. Get better cleaning with huge laundry savings, like this Samsung front-load steam washer for only $4.38. Visit our newest showrooms on Rand Road in Lake Zurich and on Butterfield Road in Downers Grove, or any of our 10 Chicagoland showrooms. Grand Appliance and TV. You make it home, we make it grand.
One call makes it simple. As a family-owned business, ABC Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electric understands your time is important and wants you to have more time to relax. So when it's time to schedule your visit, we'll make it easy. Experience for yourself the value of a trusted company and qualified technicians with our special drain clearing offer, $93 or free. Call 888-252-9955 or visit 4abc.com today, because it's as easy as ABC.
Hurry to the Labor Day mattress sale at Value City Furniture. This week, get free delivery, plus enjoy 48 months no-interest financing. And now, get $100 off the Speedy Sleep Queen mattress set, just $4.99. Only at Value City Furniture.
When you're born in Chicago, you're blessed and you're healed. The first time you walk into Wrigley Field.
So few things from your childhood that are left that are still around. I mean, I'm in my 50s now, and I've been coming here since, I was like 10. And it just always reminds me of, growing up in Chicago and watching them on Channel 9.
Whenever people ask me what they should do in Chicago, this is one thing that I say. If it's springtime, summertime, and into the fall, I always tell them to come to Wrigley. Don't miss Wrigley.
It's like a wonder of the world. I wanted to do that one year. I wanted to make Wrigley Field one of the wonders of the world.
Every time I get an opportunity to come back, it's just the same. It's the same feeling, it's the same energy, excitement, and I guess that's the magic of Wrigley Field.
It's always like coming home here. You don't know how bad I want to grab a sleeping bag at night and go out there on that little bump in the middle of the infield and spend the night.
I think the ballpark will always be special. You can't build the ambiance that's here. You can't build the neighborhood that's around here. You can't build the whole daytime feel, the whole vibe here. You can't build that. That's not in the bricks. That's not in the ivy. That's something that's right inside here, and that's what a lot of the generation of Cub fans will pass from one to another.
I love the idea that there are few places left in America where you have a sense of place and a sense of history, and there's no place in baseball that has a sense of history like Wrigley Field.
The ballpark is still beautiful to me, then Wrigley is the most beautiful part, in baseball right now, and Wrigley has the best fan, man, in the world.
It just has such a feel that no other ballpark has. You can't replicate it. The new ballparks are all very nice, all the modern amenities and all the things you like in a new ballpark, but there'll never be another place like this.
If you think Cubs, you think of what you see on WGN, and it's always, a sunny summer day, and they're playing baseball with all that green on the outfield wall. It's different than any other place.
Think of it this way. We celebrate Jackie Robinson Day every April 15th. There's only one park left that Jackie Robinson played in. It's Wrigley Field. And when he played there, it looked pretty much the same way.
When I was a little boy, I used to take the train from Northwestern when I was there and sit in the bleachers there. So I've seen the whole ballpark, whether it's the inside or the out, and I just think it's a wonderful ballpark, and it's a wonderful experience.
Wrigley Field is special in that even though there's been a lot of changes over the last 40, 50 years, it essentially is the same ballpark from 80 years ago. This is the same ballpark where Babe Ruth had his called shot. This is where Gabby Hartnett hit his home run in Gloman. This is where Ernie Banks won his back-to-back MVP awards. You can't go to the old Polo Grounds. It's gone. The Metropolitan Stadium in Minnesota, it's a shopping mall. Other great ballparks are parking lots or apartment buildings, but we still have Wrigley Field.
Obviously, people are coming to see a baseball game.
But on top of that, they're coming to experience a real American experience, a real Chicago experience. It's different and it's special, and everyone understands that.
It's this small oasis in this huge city where they can come and watch a major league game. This is how baseball should be played in a ballpark like this. It should be played here for another 100 years, in my opinion.
I got to be here and live it and be a part of it and live it every day, and you know, something no one can take from me, and I'll never forget it.
May it always be, in a perfect world, a place of happiness and good health, our share of victories. You can't ask for any more than that.
I've got my memories always inside of me.